See my picture? And we're live, guys.
Hey there.
What's good, 49er Empire?
Caught me off guard.
It's the we got Bryant, Ty, and me tonight. If Aaron can come by, he's going to. And we're about to talk about the Minnesota game.
Indeed.
Wow.
Yeah, I look kind of washed out.
But first, well, I was just trying to get to some things, but that's not working out. It's fine. So, we got Minnesota coming up, fellas, and they do. Their defense is like I think 17th against the pass and 18th against the run, so that favors us obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Then their offense, they're not really good on offense. They're about middle of the pack there too. But the one thing they are good at, and this is team wide, they are third in the league in penalties, and I mean as in least. I mean least amount per game.
Mm-hmm.
So they do play disciplined football, and that's something that we really did not do last week. It's something we definitely need to improve on, and we can improve on it. So over the course of the week, we do have the injury news that has come up. And this is kind of where we need to start. So we have Debo listed as out. Is more than likely, it's been reported that he has a hairline fracture. And unfortunately, he's going to be out until at least after the bye week. So I kind of think there's enough of these where we could take them one-on-one. What do you think of Debo being out, Bryant?
It's a blow to our offense right now, but the advantage we have this time is we know he won't be there, so we're not game planning around him. The beginning of and oh my gosh, like we lost him like what second play of the game. So this game
Exactly.
we can feature somebody else. And I'm not saying that we don't have an offense that can be creative on the spur of the moment, but it definitely seems to be a little bit better when you play a team and you have a game plan and you go in there and you can execute it. Again, the Browns had a bye week before they played us, so I'm just thinking, let's go in there ready to play. So Debo being out, I think you're right. Cracked shoulder, he'll be out for a couple of weeks for sure. So next man up.
Yeah. We know he's going to be out. That's okay. We have more than enough weapons that we can get by without him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay there. And I agree with what Bryant said. We saw last week that Debo was going to be heavily involved in the game plan. And when he got hurt early, that wrecked the game plan. We saw guys come in and they were just unsure of the game plan, and that just threw a monkey wrench in things. So this week, we know Kyle he's out. He'll script up things for other guys accordingly, and we'll be fine. In the passing game, you still got to deal with Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Juwan Jennings shows up. May see some Ray. How about some Ronnie Bell? Like, we still have a plethora of weapons to get by in the passing game. That if we were out them without Debo Samuel, we'll be okay.
Okay. Well, before we move on, we got to say hi to all the good people in the chat. We got,
Indeed.
Damian Lee, Laura Cat. How we all doing tonight? We got Jason Niner, Smash Massey, Tony Culp, Bryant's wife, and last but far from least, we got Steve-O. So
I don't know about the
And
far from east part. No, stop.
he,
Devo's my guy.
but yeah, so the next injury, and I'm starting with the worst and going, down the line here.
Hmm.
Trent Williams.
Yeah.
Now, it is my opinion that this is the biggest of all because he's in the trenches. We can count on him when he's healthy to win his matchup, no matter who he's against.
Yep.
Which last week after the injury, he did not look like himself. He was still doing pretty good, but he did not look like himself. So, and he was listed as doubtful, reported as out, and we don't know how long this is going to linger.
Hmm.
He could possibly be out until after the bye week, but that's a still yet to be seen. So, Bryant, what do you think about Trent Williams' injury and the impact it will have?
If he's out, it's going to be really devastating to our line. It seems like we're not worried about anything because we have Trent. As long as Trent's there, we're okay to roll. I don't believe our backup is it Jalen Moore, who's our backup left
Yeah.
tackle.
He's the backup swing
Mm-hmm.
tackle.
I'm not going to doubt him, but I'm just not. There's a reason Trent didn't pull himself out of the game against the Browns. Either he believes he's that much better than Jalen Moore, or he believes that Brock would have been in, again, like would Brock have been in, harm? Like is the Browns going to treat him like the Philly game? Is that what Trent's mentality was? So Trent is big captain, a big member of our team. With him not on the team, the field, that's a that's someone who's like a mentor, who's a leadership, aspect that you don't have at that moment. So when he is on the field, I think everybody plays better. If he's out for a couple of weeks, hopefully he can rest up so he can be ready and we don't lose him anytime, after that. If he can't go, then, let the guy sit. But I believe if he says he can go, then let him go.
Yeah. The thing we know about Trent, though, he's a warrior, right? If he can stand on his two legs, he'll be out there. We saw this 2 years ago in the playoffs. Remember, he hurt his ankle? I think it was in the Green Bay game when he played up there in the cold. I believe he hurt his ankle then, and he played the next week on basically one ankle. So it was a badly sprained ankle. And I remember him saying after the fact, like, I really shouldn't have been out there. But, I took one for the team. I was out there. So we know he'll go. This situation is different. It's still early in the season. There's 11 games to go, right? We have a bye coming up. So I know he'll probably want to be out there, but I agree with you, Bryant. Him not being out there is a big blow to the team, probably the biggest blow. We know what he means to the offensive line. Um, for my druthers, I say you rest him because he
Yeah,
is that important,
yeah,
right? We need him for the long haul, not the short haul. Luckily, this is just an ankle sprain. It's not the dreaded high ankle sprain that doomed us years ago. And he had that 2 years ago. And we saw he missed like 3 or 4 games then. Um, Also, Minnesota, we know, plays on turf. And we know what kind of havoc that can cause. Like, it's the reason why Justin Jefferson is out. We saw Travis Kelsey hurt himself, his ankle on that stuff, on that same field a few weeks ago. So for me, I would hold him out. And I'd probably hold him out for Cincinnati as well, if he's not ready to go, even though that's at home on grass. Let him heal up and be 100% for the stretch run. That's when we need these guys the most. So it is going to be a big blow. If Jalen Moore gets in there, I would assume that you will see a lot of George Kittle staying in to help block for him, as well as Juszczyk being over there and the other tight ends just to help him out, get chips and things like that. As well as Kyle perhaps going to a quick passing game, getting the ball out of Brock's hands quick, early, to avoid some of that pressure that may be coming from that way?
I honestly want to see us run the ball with Jalen Moore
Well,
because
he's a mauler, yeah.
that's something he's good at. His pass blocking skills, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
But run the ball, all right, Kyle, let's get back to running the ball 40 times for a minute. Take the pressure off of Purdy too. He just had a bad game. He needs to the whole team needs to get right game. And that's honestly what I'm hoping this game's going to be. But the next injury up is CMC and his oblique. I've been told that he's a go.
Yeah.
And, he is definitely an impact player. But at this point, I really don't want to see him out there too much. We have the Bengals coming up. We don't have to overlook the Vikings. You never want to do that.
No.
But we do have the Bengals coming up and then a bye week. That should be enough time for his oblique to heal. But knowing CMC, he's going to want to play the game, and he's a tough guy to take out. He'll tell the coach no. So, at this point, how much do you guys want to see him in the game, Bryant?
Well, I am a little concerned about his injury because I'd like to see him last the season, and make it to the championship. I think with him, we have a really good chance of making it to the Super Bowl and winning it. He's a warrior, and I don't think he's going to be able to really, truly pull himself out of the game. I know when he's on the field, even if he's not 100%, we got a great chance of winning. The guy practically is our offense. I'm understanding that his oblique is now a tear. He has a small tear to that, and I don't have the whole information to be able to explain properly what an oblique is, but I believe it's soft tissue, soft muscle tissue that can be different spots on your body. So I was understanding it's your legs, around your knees, and it's in your stomach area, around your rib areas. Yeah. So it's like small different areas of soft tissue, soft muscle. So he could be hurt anywhere, but there's some muscle he has a tear in, and that doesn't sound like that's too comfortable. But again, he's a warrior. I don't think he's going to take himself out. Don't necessarily think it's about the touchdowns. I think it's about him helping the team win, because I do know there's a touchdown record that's involved, but I don't think he's concerned about. I think he's concerned about the team winning. When Debo went out and CMC went out, I think that's the turning point of the game last week.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I'm looking at Christian McCaffrey, and I'm saying 15 to 20 touches a game. This game. That's it. He's averaging like 25 to 30 up there in that range.
Mm-hmm.
We got to limit him. As Bryant said, he's a guy that when he's out there, he's going to go. He's another warrior, right? He's going to go, and he's going to go full steam ahead. You're not going to take him out. We need to protect our players from themselves. And him being the cog that makes the whole thing go, we need to protect him from himself. So I'm thinking 15 to 20 touches a game. And you know what? We saw in the Cardinals game that Deebo Samuel was actually injured that game, and we used him as a decoy a lot. Let's use some of that game plan for Christian McCaffrey. We know the defense is going to focus on him. We could use him as a decoy on some plays. Just having his presence out there will break a defense, right? Use him as a decoy and set some of these other guys up. But you got to limit him. You got to make him, preserve himself. Because I believe he really injured that thing in the Cowboys game and just didn't say anything, was a warrior, stayed out there. If you remember the Cowboys game, he had that helmet-to-helmet hit and never left the game. Most people would have came out, got themselves checked. The team would have called him out, right? Check him for a concussion, something. Are you okay? He never left the field. We got to protect him. So, limit him as much as you possibly can. You got two young bulls in Jordan Mason. Well, three actually, Jordan Mason, Elijah Mitchell, and The other one, TDP, Tyler Davis Price. Use them. That's what they're for. When it's 3rd and 1, 3rd and goal, short yardage, don't ram him up there getting hurt, right? Use one of the other guys. They can get a yard. Jordan Mason has shown in his very short career that he falls forward all the time. He can get you a yard or two. Use him. So protect CMC at all costs.
I have to agree with that. He is the Swiss Army knife. I used to say that about Juice, but he spends more time blocking than doing anything else these days. But CMC is the Swiss Army knife. He's a running back. He can go out and play wide receiver, any position. He makes a check down into a actual viable play that the defense needs to worry about.
Exactly. But yeah, I didn't mention
But
Juice, and you brought him up, and kudos to you for bringing up Juice. We saw the implementation of Juice in the Cowboys game, and how highly effective it was. I mean, it seemed like every time he touched the ball, it was a first down, and of course, he scored the touchdown. He is a weapon. You got to work him into the game plan.
He's just one of the.
Well, we have Steve-O asking where's Aaron out. Well, right now he's out. We're resting podcaster. Exactly. That's what it says on the injury report.
Exactly.
So.
He's on the injury report. We're taking precaution. We need him for the rest of the season. So we're resting him.
That's right. That's right.
We'll keep an eye on him. Hopefully he'll be back next week and be in game shape.
Yep. But the next injury, we have Greenlaw, which everything I've read says he's playing. Mm-hmm. Thumper is back. Yep. And that's just what I'm calling him. No one else wants. If you don't want to call him that, you don't have to. I am calling him Thumper because whenever I watch a game and he makes a hit, I can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's Thumper. And having him, his energy and his ability to, just be there alongside Fred Warner to tackle is going to be so big.
Yeah.
We saw, miss last week. And Oren Burks actually led our team in tackles last week. So shout out to him for having a good game. But Fred Warner kind of looked out of place. It was like Batman without Robin. He was out of place. He wasn't sure where he had to be because he knew he can count on Greenlaw to be where he's supposed to be, and he don't have to worry about that. So, having Greenlaw back is going to be big, in my opinion. What do you think, Bryant?
Oh, most definitely. When he's out there, I know, you coined him Batman and Robin. I kind of think Fred and Barney, because we got Warner, he doesn't have to worry about it because his little buddy's over there, and he's handling business. So I do. I really think we were missing him a little bit, a lot. You just think maybe if he was there, the offense would have been a little bit more more productive. I know he plays defense, but with CMC and Debo coming out, we still were managing to move the ball. We got Ayuka open later. Juwan Jennings, I hope he has a good game this week. Monday, tomorrow. I just really think Kittle, because you said it too, he was blocking a lot. Juice is blocking a lot. So if you have, a heavy hitter like Greenlaw on the other side, when we were missing a lot of tackles, and Fred can only be so many places, and he can be there, but he can't be there all at once, right? So, yeah, I'm looking forward to him coming back because Oren Burks, he played really well too. He wasn't horrible. We didn't have any, nasty penalties, but we didn't have the same emphasis on defense either. And I know he's a special teamer, so I'd like to see Greenlaw back out there, especially if he can go. Let's go.
Yeah, I saw Greenlaw as a go, and that makes me smile as well, right? Because he is the thumper, he's the tone setter, right?
Yep.
He lets you know you can try to run up the middle, run outside. I'm here all day. So I love the fact that he'll be out there. That's a boost to the offense. I mean, to the defense. And, Oren Burks is a solid player. I loves me some Oren Burks. He does a lot of the little things well, and he plays very well. But there's just a different level between, him and Greenlaw and Fred, right? There's just a different level. So having him out there is definitely going to be a boost. I hope they keep an eye on him because once again, we're playing on that nasty turf. And that can make a hamstring, a foot, a leg, anything flare up. So hopefully we put this thing to bed early and we can take him out and rest that thing
Oh,
a little bit. Yeah, rest that
oh,
thing a
that
little
that
bit.
that's a perfect scenario, though.
Yeah,
That's a
that's the
perfect
perfect
scenario.
scenario.
I would
Just like
definitely like to
just like
see
the
this happen.
Dallas game. Yeah, but having him back would be great because I think Fred did push a little bit last week to try to do just a little too much, try to make a too much of a big play. Just do a little extra, and I think it hurt us. So having him back will solidify things, and we'll be much stronger on defense.
What's you guys' thoughts on the defense of the Vikings? The only one I know is a 22. Is that it? Hunter. He's a corner or a safety. I know
Safety as a safety, Harrison Smith.
he's given us fits in the past. But other than that, I can't think of anybody on their defense.
Harrison Smith is a Pro Bowl safety. He flies around. He makes plays all over the field. He's just one of those guys, right? He's definitely someone to look out for. He'll definitely cause some havoc if you let him. Other than that, they have a pass rusher. I think. Shoot, I'm drawing a blank.
Hunt, isn't that Hunt?
Hunter, Daniil Hunter.
Daniel Hunt. Yeah, Daniel
Yes,
Hunter.
Daniil
There you go.
Hunter. Yeah, they have
Daniel.
him. Yeah, and those are only two impact guys that they really have. That's it. um, Other than that, everything else is just middle of the road, just like their defensive ranking. It's just middle of the road. I'm not worried about their defense. Same way I wasn't worried about Cleveland's defense or any other team's defense. If the 49ers offense goes out there and executes the way that they should and are expected to every week, we'll be fine. We'll put points on the board and, we'll be fine. Everyone can stop with the hysteria. We'll be fine.
Well, last week's game, we always seem to have one stinker, and last season it was the very first game of the season. 12 penalties. I think it was for like 99 yards or something like that.
Yeah,
And
he was up
then
there.
this last game was, again, 12 penalties, around the same amount of yards.
Mhm.
So, the last week was the one stinker. And it's like everyone, 49ers, that's all you get. You just get that one stinker,
Yeah.
Now you got to come back. I'm sure they've been working hard on it all week. And, Minnesota on Monday night. And then it's a short week, and we play the Bengals, which I'm honestly thinking. I looked at the primetime night game and said, and I don't remember actually who's playing, but I took one look at it and said they should. They're probably going to swing the 49ers and Bengals to primetime.
Interesting.
And it's a possibility. It's a possibility they could do it. So, and I'm honestly hoping they do because it's a few more hours rest. We're having a short week. But so Minnesota, their offense, they got Kirk Cousins, they got Justin. Oh, that's right. He's no longer with the team for the rest of the season. I think they put him on season ending IR.
I thought it was just the 4-week one.
Was it?
I thought it was the 4-week one. I could be wrong. I definitely
They
could be
could
wrong.
be hoping to get him back. I mean, he is
Yeah.
by far their best offensive weapon.
Oh, for sure.
Like when it comes to their offense, ask me to name someone outside of Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins. I will not be able to.
Yeah.
So last year I could have said Delvin Cook. They got that running back, and but at this point, I don't know enough about their offense. They have players that haven't necessarily made names for themselves. They don't have Adam Thielen anymore. I don't know where he ended up.
Randy's
But
asking.
they're
Sorry, David. Randy's asking, don't they still have Chris Carter, Randy Moss?
I know they've been showing their graphics all week, and I'm like, they're gone. They're gone.
Yeah, Culpepper. Isn't he suiting up for the game, right?
It's unbelievable.
Culpepper, John Randall.
Mm-hmm. All those guys are gone.
Oh yeah.
On offense, they have Cam Akers, the ex-Ram, running the ball. The other receiver is I think his name is Jordan Addison, who's their second receiver, but I believe he's injured and may not play tomorrow. So they may be starting the game with their third and fourth wide receiver on the depth chart. So they're we talk about us not having a Debo and a CMC. They're deplete of weapons also, and their weapons aren't as good as our weapons, aside from Jefferson. So,
yeah. I was actually looking at offensive line rankings, and their offensive line they're pretty good. Yeah. They're not bad. They're top third of the league, pretty good. But their defensive line is not.
No.
So this is kind of you always build a team starting from the trenches, but at this point, Minnesota will stand up. We're a good football team. And it seems like the Browns last week, they played one of their better games trying to beat us. And, we're the 49ers. When we come to town, the other team better be ready. And the Browns actually were, but then we shot ourselves in the foot. I can't honestly say they beat us. Okay, more than shot ourselves in the foot. We cut it off with a chainsaw.
Yeah,
I mean it was bad. It was bad.
We
beat ourselves. Yeah.
Remember the first Saw movie?
Which one? Those are
the first Saw movie.
Which one?
That was us. we just cut our own foot off. We chopped the whole thing off. It was like, ugh. Terrible.
It was. But I mean, I really
got to execute.
Every week we got to execute offense and defense and special teams.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot about the whole Brock Purdy can't play in the rain. I've been seeing things about this, and it's like, okay, if that's the issue, get a squirt bottle with some water and wet the ball down and practice.
Exactly.
There you go.
That's something you can easily practice. Throwing a wet ball.
Yeah.
Not hard.
Yep. Make them practice with it. Make the wide receivers practice catching wet balls. It's easy, I mean, me, I'm the kind of guy. I had that scoutmaster that would teach you to swim. He'd take you out to the deep end of the lake, take your life jacket off, and chuck you out. And say that's where you got to be, point at the dock. That's how he's going to teach you how to swim. But and I'm down to bust out a fire truck. And some wind machines, and let's get some hurricane conditions going during practice here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
help the whole team, right?
Yeah, and a few games that it's rained, he's been a little off, and maybe he just haven't thrown that much in the rain. We don't know. I don't know his college career like that, but it has been off. But that's something that's easily fixable, like you said. Like, okay, We need to get him practicing with a wet ball. Just in case these scenarios come up, he'll be ready. And that's what practice is for, right? Get these guys ready for all types of conditions. That's why they practice with like music playing extra loud so they could go to a silent count. That's why they practice the 2 minute drills and all that stuff. Practice with a wet ball. It'll only help you in the long run. So luckily we're playing in a dome this week. So unless the fire alarm goes off, the sprinkler system goes off, we don't have to worry about that.
That's true. That is 100% true. And it's going to be nice and cozy in the dome, and shouldn't be bad temperature wise. Should be all right. But we're going to play the Vikings, and I don't even have a decent nickname for these guys. I did call them the Vikings, but like the red chickens and the sea chickens.
Uh-huh.
That was interesting. The red chickens put up a fight, but the sea chickens ended up winning. Just so everyone knows.
Yeah.
And shout out to the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
I took a loss on my pick'ems, but I've taken that loss with a smile, folks.
Exactly. Yeah. That's when I'll happily lose on my pick'em. I lost that. I picked the Rams as well, but I'm happy that the Steelers won. So hey.
Yeah.
I picked Steelers, but that was pretty much the only one I got right this week. I did not do too good this week. But yeah, so I'm hoping Miami can win, and then we can win, against the Vikings. I do like calling them like the Purple Pirates. I think that's fun to call them. They got the boat and
Pirates.
everything.
I like that.
But no, all with respect. But we've played them a bunch of times, and this is a legendary matchup. And when we do go play them in Minnesota, we are not always favored, so we need to keep that in mind, not go in overconfident, but want to get in and out with the win, with a healthy win. And yeah, looking forward to it. Really am. It's going to be a really, really fun matchup. And then after that, we play the Bengals, another team that we've played. Not as much as you think we have played them. Guys, not to get off the Vikings, but how many games do you think in total have we played the Vikings compared to the Bengals?
Well, the Vikings, this is game number 50 in total, like regular season playoffs, everything. The Bengals, I truly have no idea. I'm estimating somewhere around 30, maybe 35.
I think it's in the 20s. I think it's lower than that. It's a very low one. We don't play them a lot.
Nope. You're right. You are right. It is 13-4, and that's including the 2 Super Bowls. So we've only played them a total of 17 times.
Wow.
So
wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
Out of conference team though. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to remember, for a lot of years, one, it was out of conference. You're totally correct, but you remember how it's set up like. The number 1 team in the conference normally doesn't play like the last team in the conference. That's the way it used to be back in the day when it used to be like 5 teams a conference, something like that. So the Bengals were bad. We know that. They had their fans show up with bags over their heads at one point in time. So we never played them because we were always, first in our division. They were always finishing near the bottom. So we just never played them.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, when you start getting into it.
In the teens, wow.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that low. I figured, we've been around a long time. Been in the NFL since 1950, so I figured we played at least, every team in the place 30 times, minus the expansions teams of the 90s, Jaguars, Panthers, Texans, and the new Browns, which that's an interesting story in itself.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, the Vikings I think they were established in 1961. I want to say that the Bengals were 1968. So, and then being different conferences has a lot to do with it. But just, still, it's like, wow, some teams we seem to play a lot, and then there's other teams we don't play them very often at all. Like the Raiders, I think we only played them a total of like I want to say like 16 times or 17 times. It's like it was 8-8 or 8-7 or something. I'm not sure. 9-7 now. So, David, what else you got, buddy? I know our game here really hasn't played just yet. Gonna be a really really exciting game, and how you feel about Miami? How you feel? They got a good shot against the Eagles, or
I think they do because the Eagles defense has had issues stopping people. Their offense, hasn't necessarily been incredibly flashy. They're doing enough to win games.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins offense has all those track stars on it. So it's like they're one of those offenses that you're not going to stop. You just have to hope to contain. And it honestly ought to be a good football game. And folks, we're probably not going on for an hour because it's already started.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of itching to watch it myself.
Yeah.
I'm sure these guys are too.
Eagles right now. Miami's driving. But yeah, I agree with you. Their Eagles offense hasn't been that great, and defense hasn't been that great either. They've been middle of the road, and if you get them into third and long, it seems like they can't do anything. Their whole offense is the tush push at this point. That's how they're moving the chains. That's it. So
Yep.
if you can stop them first, second down, and you can say this for all teams, right? If you stop them first, second down, get them into a third and long, they have trouble. But with this team, they really have trouble in third and long. So I think Miami definitely. I picked Miami to win this game because I think they'll just their offense. Mike McDaniels isn't afraid to attack that defense, right? He's going to
That's
go
right.
for it. He is not going to play conservative. He's going to go for it, right? And he wants to do something on the big stage. It's Sunday Night Football. He saw what we did on Sunday Night Football. He wants to leave his mark also. So he's going to go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, I'm honestly looking forward to watching this game, and we're pretty close to ending the stream, folks.
Mm-hmm.
I was honestly looking for the coast to coast outro. I guess there's an intro, but so all that being said, I'm 6-5 in my pick'ems. I didn't have a hot week. I did take a loss with a smile. Shout out to the Ravens doing us a favor and beating the Lions, handing them another loss. Hopefully the Dolphins do us a favor and beat the Eagles.
Can we talk about that for 1 second?
Oh yeah,
the Lions were another team that we saw just come out and kind of play nobodies, weren't really tested, et cetera, et cetera. Go out and beat Tampa Bay last week, and everybody's like, "Ooh, the Lions," right? And then you see where they match up against a playoff team that people are picking could somehow go far in the playoffs, and look what happens, right? It's like
they got beat. They got beat bad.
They got beat down. So a lot of these teams, they're getting by, being the bully, beating up against the little guys in the park. But when they pick on someone their own size, it's a totally different ball game. So we got to be wary of all these rankings that come out and all these praises of teams when they have one good week. Don't fall for it. Just look at their track record over the course of the season and see what they're really doing.
Well, that's a good point because the season schedules have a lot to do with it. And right now they are saying that Detroit Lions have a favorable season schedule upon them moving forward. They should be able to win a lot of games, but they do have a couple of roadblocks, and this is one of them. I thought last week the Tampa Bay game was going to be a good measuring stick for them. And sure, they came out with the victory. But look what happened with the Tampa Bay game today, too. It came down to a field goal. It
Yep.
came down to a field goal, and it's just one of those things. So when you play sometimes having a really good team doesn't mean your offense scores 30 or 40 points. It means your team comes away with the win. And like there was times in the game with the Saints earlier, on Thursday, you see Derek Carr throw the ball incomplete on purpose because throw it away because he knows, okay, live to fight another down. Let's come back. And what happened at the end? He had his team in position to win. So that's what good quarterbacks do. That's what veterans do. I didn't do very good on my picks this week. I'm right now 3-8. Shout out to Tony. She's 7-4. So I'm going to take some advice from her.
I'm taking some. Tony, call me for next week.
Right. Right.
Find out she's the pick'em guru.
Right. But did anybody expect Buffalo to lose? Did anybody expect, really, truly, I heard you both say you took the Rams. I took Pittsburgh. I took Arizona. I really did believe Seattle was going to win. But, and then like Green Bay almost won at the end too. So I took Green Bay. Kansas City, that was evident. And the Raiders, I think that was one of the biggest letdowns. They didn't really even come to play. The Bears aren't good. They are not that good.
I picked the Bears.
No-name rookie.
I picked the Bears because they were playing a no-name rookie.
Oh my God. You took the Raiders.
And then I guess Washington.
My wife took the Bears. I should start listening to her.
Listen to the wives. Happy wife.
More of the stream, folks. Listen to your wife. There you go.
Shout out to the ladies. If you don't know, now you know.
And my wife just said, "Don't forget it in the background." Just
right.
All right, folks. Well, we're gonna let y'all get on out of here and go watch Sunday Night Football.
Enjoy your evening.
That's right. It's always go 49ers and F the Lambs. You guys got anything you want to say?
I like what Ty says. He either says it or I say it. Stay faithful, everyone.
Stay faithful, everybody.
So.
Have a good one.